Hi there. Today we're going to have a winner of the monthly lottery, and we're also going to do our usual weekly general guidance for you guys. So let me start by picking a name. And by the way, if you want to participate in the next lottery, you can do so by visiting my website. You can also join on Patreon if you just want a single entry. You can double or triple your chances if you choose to join the lottery at a higher tier. Anyway, let's see who's gonna be the recipient of the reading this month. So this reading is going to be for Dan, who's a Patreon supporter of mine. Congratulations, Dan. And please watch the video till the end, Dan, if you want to see your reading, because your reading is going to be at the end of it. And to everyone else, your weekly reading is coming up right away. All right, so as always, we are going to use the Gipsy cards to have a look at the theme of the upcoming week. And we've had this card before. Actually, there's not that many cards in this deck, so we're going to have a lot of repetitions, but that's okay. So this one's called Látogatás, or visit, besuch, visite, posieta, or visita. So it's the act of visitation that reemerges. The act of allowing someone into your space or showing up in someone else's space, which in our previous readings, we have agreed that this is kind of a difficult topic, or at least it could be. So let's see what the guidance is from the cards to go with this topic. Alrighty. Okay, so the tarot responds by showing us the not so graceful and not so joyous card of the Nine of Swords. So I don't know what's been going on, but for the last few videos, last few general readings that we've done with one another, we've had some pretty awkward cards, and this is one of them, the Nine of Swords. Not the most positive or optimistic. So here's the information that we have. We have a visit, a looming event that is more anxiety inducing than anything else. And the Nine of Swords is one of those cards that could be best characterized by the aphorism, or there's this quote, I don't remember who is it by, but the idea is that the most horrible things that can happen to you, they happen to you in your mind. The reality, the horrendous traps or disasters that you're envisioning in your head, they can never come close to the suffering that you experience in actual reality. At least that's what this quote tries to convey. This idea that we suffer so much more in our heads than in actual reality. So there's a conflicting visit, whether you are the one visiting or you are going to be visited. There's the internal conflict that shows up in the Nine of Swords, which to me spells worry and anxiety regarding the thing itself. So visiting someone or being visited is not often, or not always a reason to celebrate and to let go. In your case, I think this is filled with apprehension and negative feelings. So what to do, how to manage this, what could be a good idea? Let me actually pull a second card to give us some more guidance. It's all well and good. It's understood that the reality of the visit is much less horrifying once it happens than the anticipation leading up to it. But what else can the cards show us about this that could help? And here we have an interesting antithesis to the Nine of Swords with the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is a card associated with water and feelings. And this is a card that has to do with the involvement of multiple people. So here's one thing that the cards can immediately communicate to you, is that once you involve other people in the situation, and once that involvement happens from a place of emotions, so there's an openness, an emotional openness between the parties, the burden dissipates. It's open communication and a heartfelt confession, a sharing of your internal emotional reality that can make a difference. And it can turn things around. So the Nine of Swords kind of makes you look at people as if they were a threat, an enemy, something to guard your heart against. And the Three of Cups is telling a very different story. With the Three of Cups, there's a community and a commonality, an energetic connection between those who are involved. And again, this is not the Two of Cups. So this isn't supposed to be a dualistic experience. Rather, this should be opened up. And this should involve more people. So, if that's possible, try to extend the experience to others, to other like-minded individuals. Try to share what is happening for you on the inside. And try to delegate. You don't have to carry all of this by yourself. All right, now let's continue with your personal reading, Dan. To everyone else who's still watching, feel free to stick around and watch this reading as well. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave comments, and if you can afford it, I would appreciate if you supported the channel financially. You can book personalized readings with me on my website. You can subscribe for monthly readings at a discounted price, or you can purchase a standalone reading to be filmed in a few days after purchasing. So anyway, Dan, let's first find out what I need to do the reading about. So we're going to ask the cards to bring up a topic that needs to be discussed in this reading. Next, I would like to assess your energy. So with this next card, we're going to see what kind of energy you're expressing at the moment. So what are the cards reflecting back? What are the cards picking up from you? And so let's start with that. And we'll take it from there. The topic is the Six of Cups. And your energy is represented by the King of Pentacles. Can you allow yourself to be, quote unquote, weak and vulnerable? Is the first question that comes to my mind. The Six of Cups as a topic brings up those parts of you that could perhaps be best described as the inner child. Those emotionally vulnerable and fragile and playful and malleable parts which didn't die when you grew up. You exist on a continuum of self. So the childhood self is still with you, especially in an emotional sense. So the Six of Cups brings up that part of you, that nostalgic, innocent, pure, somewhat immature version of yourself that likes to play around, likes to make jokes, that is somewhat naive, easy to control, very impressionable, energetically and emotionally, and therefore should be protected at all costs. When you are surrounded by children, your own children perhaps, or the children of others, relatives or friends. The way the presence of those kids makes you feel, kinds of feelings that it brings up, is relevant. It matters. Because the presence of children reminds you of your own child self. And it can bring up some forgotten memories from your childhood, some feelings that you have long forgotten or buried within yourself. This is an emotional revival that this card is pointing at. In contrast, the way you construct yourself energetically is very headstrong, very materially focused. The King of Pentacles, the King of Earth, is at the top of his game. He's very powerful. He's a king, after all. And he rules over the suit of pentacles, the earth element. So here, with the King of Pentacles, we have someone who has extremely high standards for himself, who's interested in success and building structures in his life that are enduring and profitable as well. So this is a focus on everything physical, everything material. And then in contrast, we have the Six of Cups. It's really delicate, ethereal energy. It's interesting. So can the King of Pentacles be an efficient protector of the Six of Cups? Is it possible that your adult persona, who seems to be very much tied up in conducting and construing a life that is all about security and stability, can this persona be an efficient protector of the Six of Cups, or is the Six of Cups' energy a little bit trapped by this more serious, organized, disciplined presence? Is it being suffocated, or is it thriving? So let's find out. Let's see if the childish spontaneity of the Six of Cups is still alive. And here we have the Empress, a jumping card, essentially telling me that, yes, this energy is still alive and well within you. Now let's see about the King of Pentacles. Let's see if this is an efficient protective system. Okay, so here we have the Five of Swords, and this is predicting some kind of incoming injury that the King of Pentacles is not guarding against. Okay, so this is what this reading is getting at, I think. We have the Six of Cups, the innocence, the dreamy, creative, childish segment of the self that's still very much alive. The Empress is suggesting that this part of you is thriving more and more. It is vibrant. It's being nourished. It's being fed by new experiences, by novelty, by excitement, by riddles that needs to figure out. So the Six of Cups is being taken care of. So that's good. It's being nourished appropriately. But the King of Pentacles persona that you have assumed is at this point not very well equipped to ward off a Five of Swords attack. Now, the Five of Swords is interesting because it's a covert kind of conspiracy or a veiled form of aggression directed at the ego, directed at the pride and the independence of the ego coming from the outside. So there's some malicious intent lingering around you. Now, obviously, when we say malicious, we think of other people trying to hurt you deliberately. And that question of deliberate acts, of free will, of is evil conscious of his evil doing and stuff like that. I don't really want to get into it. It's so complicated. I just want to say that it doesn't really matter what the intent behind these actions is. It's not that relevant. What really interests us here is how you can protect yourself, how you can make sure that the Six of Cups is not disheartened by some kind of brutish remark or comment or incoming negative energy that the Five of Swords represents. So how do we do that? Security on the physical level does not seem to suffice, doesn't work. And it's not the kind of attack that would threaten your, let's say, your financial or your career security. So it's coming from a different sphere of existence. And so the question of what to do is answered by Temperance. Temperance is a major arcana card, just like the Empress. And Temperance is about finding a way to balance things. It's also the symbolic representation of health. So health, we often like to think of as perfection. But what Temperance is trying to show you or remind you of is that true health, true stability, and true balance does not equal perfection. So the perfectionism of the King of Pentacles, or the high demands of the King of Pentacles, should be laid to rest, at least for a while. So Temperance is antithetical to perfectionism, and it is the card of patience and gentleness. So a more effective system to ward against what the Five of Swords represents here. Some kind of nastiness, perhaps a rumor, perhaps gossip, perhaps people making some offhanded remarks. Those could all fall in line with the Five of Swords' energy. The best thing to do is to take things as they come and to dance with them, to make sure that you become flexible, that you regain your dexterity, that you respond from an authentic place instead of trying to build walls or create protocols for safety. Temperance is saying that there's an authenticity that lives within you that has a very measured way of responding to such criticisms or such attacks. And getting in touch with this part of you is going to help you a lot more than trying to prepare for what is to come by hoarding resources or information, or by trying to display strength. So I hope that you enjoy this reading, Dan. Thank you for supporting my channel. To everyone else, thank you as well. See you next week.